Good evening. Welcome to Fox 54 News at 6. I'm Kenesha Dees. Community leaders are highlighting what they call major strides in how the city supports unsheltered residents. Last year, the city of Huntsville hit the reset button on the Derrick Street homeless camp, temporarily moving residents to another space. Since then, municipal leaders have shifted from a rushed emergency response to a long-term strategic strategy. Fox 54's Logan Alexandra Russell breaks down how this new coordinated approach could create pathways to housing and treatment.
Huntsville's homeless services team held a roundtable at City Hall this morning to discuss their expanded outreach and housing successes over the last 6 months. The latest push comes exactly 1 year after the city reset the Derrick Street camp, creating a new goal, moving individuals from crisis to stability.
We're very intentional of what we do. We have also hired our city's first homeless resource specialist. We have our continuum of care, which is 40 plus nonprofit social service providers, again, working with the unsheltered in our community to most importantly find pathways to housing, because that's our focus.
Leading the team is the city's first ever homeless resource specialist, Charles Morris, who implemented a 5-tier priority system based on comprehensive case management.
Everything we do is about housing. The end goal is housing, regardless of the starting point, right? The starting point may be substance abuse, right? It may be mental health stabilization. It may be workforce development to increase income, but the end goal is housing.
In 6 months, the strategy has transitioned 22 people into permanent housing. Now, 35 individuals at Derrick Street are actively working toward placement. Local partners like First Stop, Wellstone, and Partnership for a Drug-Free Community say tighter collaboration cuts red tape. With cooperative outreach secured, officials say the extended framework will remain active in an effort to provide unsheltered residents a permanent place to call home. In Huntsville, Logan Alexandra Russell, Fox 54 News.
Officials emphasize there is currently ample bed space available at local shelters, insisting that no one has to sleep on the streets while they work toward more permanent housing solutions. Well, look at that. Beautiful weather made its way back to the Tennessee Valley today. After all of that wind, rain, and even humidity, we finally got a day perfect for going outside. Yes, the sunshine has returned, and it's after that rain streak. Fox 54 Weather Impact Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman joins us. Jordan, will we maintain that dry sky tonight?
Yeah, we most definitely are going to maintain the dry conditions through the rest of the evening, and then even as we head into the overnight. We're also going to continue to maintain the lack of humidity as well, especially through the overnight. Live look here from the top of Green Mountain, 80 degrees right now in Huntsville, but a dew point of 55. When you're talking about a dew point less than 60 or 65 degrees in early June, you're talking about something that you should get outside and enjoy, because we all know that eventually we're going to get to that point in the month of June where you just kind of step outside and sweat. That is not the case this evening, and it's not going to be the case for the next couple of days. Upper 70s over in northeast Alabama, 79 right now in Fort Payne, 80 degrees in Florence, sitting at 82 in Decatur, sitting at 80 degrees in Fayetteville, up across southern Middle Tennessee. Gradually talking about temperatures that are going to fall off over the next couple of hours, 73 at 8, 70 by 9, 68 degrees by the time we get to 10 p.m. From there, we continue to slide into the upper 50s, a bit below average. We're going to maintain the trend of below average for the next several days. We'll talk about it in a few minutes.
Officials in Tennessee need your help finding a missing 3-year-old boy. An Amber Alert was issued for Tyler Hall, who was last seen today in the Aurelia Lynn Drive area of Clarksville. Take a good look at your screen. Tyler last seen wearing a green dinosaur t-shirt, green shorts, and gray socks. If you've ever seen Tyler, call the Clarksville Police Department at 931-648-0656. A man wanted for a deadly shooting in Pennsylvania was found dead in his car near Coleman. Authorities say the investigation began when officers were called to Manheim Borough, Pennsylvania apartment yesterday morning. It's after reports of gunfire and a woman yelling for help. When officers arrived, they say they found 37-year-old Keisha Gonzalez on the floor with multiple gunshot wounds. She was pronounced dead at the scene from what authorities say was a domestic dispute. The murder was a shock to the community, and our sister station, Fox 43, spoke with residents who say they were on high alert while police searched for the alleged killer.
We never heard anything like this around here before. I'm scared right now. I mean, I'm nervous right now, but I just don't want anything happening to my husband or I or anyone else around here. It just scares me to death to know that he's around yet.
The Lancaster County District Attorney's Office later identified Michael Bacha as a person of interest. An eyewitness reported Bacha allegedly came out of the apartment pointing a handgun, with multiple other witnesses also reporting getting calls from Bacha, during which he allegedly said he had, quote, done something bad. Late last night, Bacha allegedly called the Manheim Borough Police Department, threatening to harm himself. Police determined that he was in Coleman and attempted to keep him on the line while they contacted an Alabama dispatcher. Coleman police officers found Bacha in his car in the 2000 block of St. Joseph Drive. He was pronounced dead at the scene from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. The Alabama Bureau of Investigation is handling this death investigation, while Pennsylvania authorities continue to investigate. Attorneys representing the family of John Scott Jr. filed a revised federal lawsuit over his death while in law enforcement custody last year. The revised federal lawsuit filed last week. This lawsuit stems from Scott's death following an encounter with Decatur and Priceville police officers during a mental health crisis. The family alleges officers used excessive force and failed to provide medical care after Scott became unresponsive in custody. The revised lawsuit was submitted ahead of a court-ordered deadline after a judge previously rejected earlier filings over repeated filing and formatting problems. The $100 million suit names 16 Decatur police officers and Morgan County jail employees, along with the city of Decatur. The updated filing presents structured counts alleging wrongful death, monoclaim, and municipal negligence. The Scott family will avoid a permanent dismissal of the lawsuit if the filing meets court requirements. A week after an ineligible ballot threw a historic election into limbo, Falkville officially moves forward with a vote to end alcohol prohibition. The Falkville Town Council certified the results of the May 19th election yesterday, officially shifting the Morgan County town's classification from dry to wet. The council certified the vote after an ineligible voter came forward and confirmed he cast a no vote. The certified results show 116 votes in favor of legalizing alcohol sales and 114 against. While the vote officially passed, alcohol sales in the town cannot begin until local officials adopt rules and licensing regulations. Governor Kay Ivey has amended Alabama's special primary election proclamation as a legal battle over the state's congressional map continues. On May 26th, the federal court blocked Alabama from using a legislature-drawn 2023 congressional map and ordered the state to instead conduct the 2026 congressional elections under a court-drawn map. Yesterday, the National Campaign Committee filed a brief supporting the Secretary of State's emergency applications to halt the lower federal court's order. In the meantime, the state has introduced an updated timeline. Major political parties must certify candidates today, while independent and minor party candidates have until August 11th to file for ballot access. Ivey says the changes are needed to keep election preparations on track, saying, quote, "While I remain hopeful the U.S. Supreme Court will allow Alabama to move forward with our August 11th special primary election using our own congressional map, I am taking the necessary preparations as critical election deadlines approach," end quote. The decision to change the congressional map has gotten controversy from civil rights leaders who argue that forcing a shift to the 2023 map would violate constitutional protections and irreparably harm Black voters. During a protest in Montgomery last month, we spoke with Democratic gubernatorial candidate Doug Jones, who prosecuted 2 Klan members responsible for the 1963 16th Street Baptist Church bombing, who says the way to make change is through voting.
When I prosecuted the 16th Street Baptist Church bombing case, so many people kind of pushed back a little bit and said, you know, we don't want to go back. We don't want to see that again. We're beyond it. We're better than that. Well, now we're jumping back.
The special election held for Alabama's 1st, 2nd, 6th, and 7th congressional districts and won't have an impact on any North Alabama elections. A community meeting underway as Huntsville Utility shares more details about a massive battery project headed to North Huntsville. An 83,000-pound battery will be installed at the Stringfield substation. Here's a live look at that meeting. Where that 83,000-pound battery will be installed will also be designed to store electricity when demand is low, then release it during periods of extreme heat or cold when energy use typically spikes. Huntsville Utility says the goal is to reduce stress on transformers, improve reliability, and help the grid keep up with Huntsville's continued growth.
I wanted to have this meeting to give the community an opportunity to listen to the environmental impact study that I requested, as well as give them an opportunity to ask questions and get their concerns addressed. And ultimately, it'll be up to the residents if they want it installed or not. We're going to make sure that this is the best thing for our community. You know, at the end of the day, the life, health, and safety of our residents are at the forefront of my thoughts.
HU says this is a pilot project, and what they learn from it could help decide whether more batteries are added at substations across Huntsville.
I'm excited to get it opened up and have fans take part in it.
Toyota Field completing its final facility upgrade soon, and it's to be up to code. We've got to listen on the excitement buzzing on what's new. Also, we get to meet this pup, set to be a dog on duty for the World Cup. She'll serve as security with the ATF in Atlanta. Stay with us. The FIFA World Cup comes to Atlanta just next week, and it takes up to 2 years of preparation for an event of that size. It includes concessions, stadium prep work, and hundreds of security assets belonging to state and federal law enforcement agencies. And part of that security comes from the ATF, which sends canines and their handlers from across the region to survey crowds for potential weapons. Fox 54's Kilpo Guayo gives us an inside exclusive look at some of the security making their way to the FIFA World Cup next week.
SWAT teams will maintain a high level of visibility around the FIFA events and will be downtown during all matches and fan days.
Even national officials are saying that security is critical. That's why Alabama ATF agents are making their way to Atlanta, along with their canines, which are highly trained to sniff out a threat before it becomes a problem.
Good girl, yes ma'am. Good.
Meet Derby, one of 43 canines belonging to the ATF that sniff out gunpowder, weapons, bullets, and explosives before and after violent incidents. She's been trained for 12 weeks, as well as another 12 weeks with her handler, David Wiley. He's been handling canines just like Derby for 10 years, working crime scenes and dozens of major events like the Super Bowl. It's a strong bond between the two, with Wiley feeding Derby straight from his hand every time she comes across something that smells suspicious. But Wiley says it's not just walking a dog around the stadium. Behind the scenes, there are hours of strategy and coordination to make sure the World Cup goes off without a hitch.
They go out and they search for explosives, firearms, ammunition, shell casings, and post-blast debris. And you just have to maintain your dog and make sure that your canine is healthy and that you don't overwork them and give them breaks when they need and give them water when they need it. And these canines do a job that they haven't been able to create a machine yet that can do what they can do.
Wiley leaves for Atlanta soon, where he'll be for 5 whole weeks before coming back in mid-July with Derby by his side. In Huntsville, I'm Caleb Aguayo, Fox 54 News.
In addition, Wiley and Derby will work alongside Georgia's state law enforcement, several other national agencies, and some of the other ATF handlers from across the country. Looking ahead on Fox 54, we're celebrating the FIFA World Cup with the Fox 54 World Cup special, and it airs Monday at 5 p.m. It'll be available to watch anytime right here on the Fox 54 app. Nuclear negotiations could be on the table between the U.S. and Iran. We learn why, and we hear from the Secretary of State. Stay with us. Jordan, it was a rather toasty Tuesday.
Yeah, it was, mostly because we had more sunshine today compared to what we've seen over the last several days, and that sunshine is going to continue across the Tennessee Valley for the next several days. We'll talk about it in a few minutes.
Lower County 911, what's the address of your emergency room? Okay, your wife is in a bar, you said she's unresponsive?
This is what he's going to tell you. How to get out of that situation.
And I grabbed the gun.
Trying to find the first place to put a body.
No, sir. The only thing they could do was kill him.
You want to say anything? We, the jury, and to find the defendant.
The State Department hosting talks between diplomats from Israel and Lebanon. Iranian media reported yesterday Tehran would pull out of negotiations with the U.S. due to Israel's attacks in Lebanon. But today, the country's media outlets signaled the talks continue. Lebanon has become a point of contention between President Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Trump wants to scale back operations in Lebanon, while Netanyahu wants planned military action. Meanwhile, Secretary Marco Rubio testified before Congress today, where he says Iran is now open to negotiating parts of its nuclear program, another sticking point in potential ceasefire.
There is the prospect before us, which could happen today, it could happen tomorrow, it could happen next week, that for the first time, certainly in my memory, they have agreed to negotiate aspects of their nuclear program that just a month ago, just a year ago, they were refusing to even mention, much less enter into discussions about. That is not a guarantee that ultimately it will lead to a deal that's acceptable to the Senate or acceptable to the American people.
Rubio also says U.S. negotiators have seen signs that Iran's new supreme leader has been engaged with negotiations despite not being seen publicly.
What a beautiful Tuesday afternoon across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee, and we continue that trend now as we head into the evening. Live look out over the Parkway this Tuesday evening. Beautiful conditions, maybe a few fair weather cumulus clouds off into the distance there, but otherwise plenty of blue sky, plenty of sunshine, and traffic does seem to be moving smoothly this evening. We didn't see any rain through the course of the afternoon. What a change of pace. It's been a while since we could say that. And we're still not talking about any rain this evening. I do think we're going to stay dry as we head into the later part of the evening and the overnight. And then from there, we're going to stay dry through Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Small opportunity for rain as we head into your Saturday. I think that's negligible at best, at least for the time being. Better opportunities for rain do, however, build back into the area once we get to Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of next week. We had a lot of rain over the last several days. As a matter of fact, as of June 1st, we have had 13 consecutive days of measurable rain across all of North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. And it's been a while since we've seen something like that happen across the area. Had to go all the way back to the late 1980s. January of 1989 was the last time we had a streak similar. And it wasn't even a streak that was as long as this one. It was only a 10-day streak of rain. We had 10 consecutive days of precipitation back in January of 1989. Now that we're kind of finished with our spring severe weather season, let's talk about the number of tornado warnings we had across North Alabama this spring. Just 3 of them. Compare that to 59 tornado warnings last spring. Severe thunderstorm warnings, obviously there were several more of those. 59 severe thunderstorm warnings this spring. Compare that to 150 severe thunderstorm warnings that we had in spring of 2025. It is kind of an obvious statement at this point that it was a much quieter spring severe weather season compared to a lot of recent years, as a matter of fact. Temperatures currently sitting in the upper 70s, lower 80s, 78 in Fort Payne, 81 in Scottsboro, 82 in Athens, 79 in Coleman, sitting at 80 degrees right now over in Florence. We drop into the upper 50s as we head into the overnight. Honestly, I think it's probably one of those nights when you could give the AC a bit of a break. You've probably had that running, especially with the humidity. I think you could give that a break and maybe open up the windows with temperatures dropping into the upper 50s and kind of a lack of humidity across the Tennessee Valley. Your yard probably needs mowed. Mine did. I managed to get it done on Saturday, though. I did it while it was humid, which might have been a poor life choice, but it really needed it. 66 at 8 o'clock in the morning, 75 at 11, 80 by 2 p.m., 81 by 5. And it looks like that's where many of us are going to finish today, somewhere between 81 and 83 as we head into your Wednesday. Much the same as we head into your Thursday. Temperatures again climbing into the lower 80s. A couple of degrees below where we should be this time of year. We'll take it. 83 on Friday, 85 on Saturday, 84 on Sunday. The humidity is also going to return to the Tennessee Valley as we head into the front half of the weekend. We stick with the mid-80s and the opportunities for rain as we head into Monday and Tuesday of next week.
June 1st marked the deadline for minor league baseball teams to meet new facility requirements, and the Rocket City Trash Pandas say they're now working on the finishing touches. The team tells FOX54 work is expected to wrap up later this week. Construction began last year after a lengthy debate between the city of Madison and the team's ownership over funding. Local officials approved a slight extension into June to finish the work, which was partially delayed by the weather.
Hopefully it'll be wrapped up this week, and then the next team, the Montgomery Biscuits, come in on June 16th, and we should be able to fully occupy then. I think it'll be just an elevated viewing experience from left field, so I'm excited to get it opened up and have fans take part in it.
The new mandated standards were outlined in 2022 to modernize stadiums, including designated female locker rooms and extended protective netting. The Trash Pandas released a statement saying MLB is, quote, aware and up to speed on the progress, end quote. Mo, while we remain on the diamond, what's going on with sports?
We'll talk Bama softball at the Women's College World Series and Auburn baseball, who's heading to the Super Regionals. Stay tuned for those stories next.
Fox 54 Plus has your news, sports, and weather. Start your evening with Fox 54 at 5:30, delivering the latest headlines and live reports straight from the scene. Then stay informed with Fox 54 News at 9, featuring your Tennessee Valley certified most accurate weather impact team, tracking everything from tornado threats to traffic delays during severe weather. Fox 54 Sports Extra brings you more of what sports fans crave, with deeper insights, expert analysis, and all the action that matters most. On Fox 54 Plus, You'll also find Alabama politics, plus 24/7 weather radar and real-time forecasts to keep you ahead of the storm. Looking for a quick recap? Don't miss Fox 54 Week in Review, highlighting the biggest stories of the week. Jumpstart your morning with Morning Rush. Fast-paced news updates, featured with uplifting stories from across the globe. Get your entertainment fix with Getting Real, where we break down movie reviews, top 10 lists, and spotlight the newest film. Die Hard fan? Locked On Sports dives deep into the Crimson Tide, the Tigers, college rivalries, and pro action. True crime warrior style? Killer Cases brings you gripping real-life stories that stick with you. Hungry for more? Cooking with Style serves up mouth-watering recipes that are easy to make and impossible to resist. From movie previews before you head to the theater with Take a Look to must-know headlines from across the region and around the world with In the News. Watch all of these shows on demand and also on the Fox 54 News app. Available on Android and iOS devices. Streaming 24/7.
And good evening, everyone. An historic season for one of our state's marquee teams ending late last night in Oklahoma City, while another was extended down on the Plains. Let's kick off the action with the stuff on the softball field. Patrick Murphy and the Alabama softball squad dropping both of their contests last night to Texas Tech. Now, Red Raiders pitcher Nyjah Kennedy, who you see right there, she pitched 7 innings, struck out 6 Alabama Crimson Tide batters, and completed a scoreless game in a 2-0 decision. Alabama's season comes to an end with a 56-9 record. After the contest, Patrick Murphy told us what he loved the most about this team.
It's one of the best player-led teams I've ever had in 28 years, and it was this one right here. As a coach, that's what you hope for, is the players lead the team, because it makes my job easy. You know, I don't have to discipline anybody. I mean, it's very, very enjoyable as a coach to watch that happen. And basically, you hope you don't screw it up. Just a great group.
From Oklahoma City to the Plains of Auburn, the Tigers defending the home turf late last night, punching their ticket to the College Baseball Super Regionals. Auburn scoring 5 runs in the 6th inning in their 8-3 victory over Milwaukee. Head coach Butch Thompson very proud of his team, especially since they had to win everything coming from the losers bracket.
This was the hardest, probably most rewarding thing that we've been through for me personally. To see what these guys had to go through with the weather and the doubleheaders and getting punched in the mouth to get started. And I don't know the percentages on losing the first one and coming back, but I don't imagine it's too great. But they found a way.
All right, now coming up tonight in sports at 9 p.m. on Fox 54, we'll have more on Butch Thompson's team and what the future looks like for those guys. In the meantime, that'll do it for sports. Let's send it back to Kanisha.
That's right, Mo. Tonight at 9, a mother's plea for help after her son, an Auburn student, went missing in Japan. The details on that investigation ahead. A massive battery project headed to North Huntsville to help reduce stress on transformers, improve reliability, and help the grid. Fox 54's Valentina Chalala explains. And parts of a Blue Origin rocket managed to survive an explosion that occurred last week. We'll tell you what stayed intact tonight at 9. Well, from sharks and stingrays to a few mythical creatures, one Louisiana aquarium is adding a little extra magic to its summer lineup. Take a look. Families are flocking to the Shreveport Aquarium for a chance to meet real-life mermaids, with some guests coming from as far away as Florida. The mermaids swim alongside sharks and fish, as well as meet with attendees and answer any mermaid-related questions. Now, Mo, given that you're a Louisiana native, have you ever been to that aquarium?
I've never been to the one in Shreveport. I know they've had a lot of upgrades over the last couple of years, but clearly since I'm a South Louisiana guy, I just don't make those North Louisiana trips as much. But I'm glad to see them make some things happen. If people coming as far as Florida to come see, it must be good, right?
It must be good. Now, were either of you Disney Channel original movie folk?
Of course.
I know where you're going.
Oh, yes. Good. So we've all seen the 13th year.
Yes.
And And we all agree that is a fantastic, if not one of the best, Disney Channel original movies.
Now, see, I thought you were going to say Little Mermaid. I just heard Disney and automatically thought Mermaid.
I mean, yes, The Little Mermaid, but no, we're talking about the 13th year.
I have not seen that.
Oh.
Now I gotta watch it.
You sure do.
Go
find it on Disney Plus.
I'm very disappointed in you. All of a sudden, I feel like I'm supposed to do something else, but now I'm disappointed in That's what I'm supposed to do. Lower 80s through Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Plenty of sunshine, low humidity. It's going to be a great rest of the week.
Guys, it'll be on my list.
Thank you.
All right.
The top.
The top. We'll see you tonight at 9.